Men Speak. If you don't know about the feature, this is Male Say. Yeah, that's what we call it. My name is Makavelo Motaung. I'm also known as Coach KB. I'm your social and dating coach and your host for this feature. This is a daily feature I run on my timeline where I talk to Black men from all different backgrounds about what affects them, their different experiences, and so forth. Today, I have Coach Joe, who's a relationship coach and counselor. He's based in Australia now. And yeah, he's running late. He ran late, actually. Joe, you owe my audience an explanation and an apology. I'm joking. Joe, please tell us about yourself. I don't want to waste your time. I know you're probably tired as well.
Yes, I'm tired. I'm actually busy packing because I'm relocating. So just I've been busy the whole morning.
Where are
My
you
name is
going
Coach.
to?
Um,
Are you moving back
I'm
home?
I'm I'm changing states now. I'm moving
Oh, okay.
from South Australia. I'm going to Victoria. I'm going to Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, tell
Anyway,
the people about you.
I'm a relationship coach, marriage and relationship coach, based in Adelaide right now. Soon Melbourne, and my relationships are my passion. I love seeing people healed in their relationship, having effective and productive and healthy relationships, and that's I have a passion to helping people with their relationship with regard to relationship issues. You see, most of the time, most of us is that we go into this thing called relationships, and we've got no idea what this thing is all about, and we just jump into something that excites us and we think this is it. And we call it love. And we're so caught up into those things. And I wonder, I just told myself, man, I asked myself, there must be something more than just a feeling. Why would someone claim that I love you and 2 months later down the line, they are your worst enemy, or they just don't want to have anything to do with you and that. And I tried to find out, and through my researches and trying to understand this and working with people, I started getting a different perspective what relationships were and different
Mm,
perspective of what a marriage is. And that helped me a lot as an individual. And I felt the need and the desire to help other people too. To
yeah.
find this which I have found that has helped me to grow as a person, that has helped even my clients that I've worked with, having healthy and powerful, strong relationships.
Yeah. Joe, I love your slogan because you say change you say what? Change yourself,
Change yourself, not your
not your
partner.
partner. Why?
Correct.
If we're not getting along, it means I must change myself. There's something wrong. Explain that to me. Like, what do you mean change
I
me and
just
not my partner?
I just like that the way you say it. You're saying that we are not getting along. Yet you're
Yeah,
saying I must change myself.
change
Now,
myself.
just listen. Did you listen to the statement that you asked, that you made now? Okay, we are not getting along. Why must I change? Look, just
Mm,
listen to that. Does that make sense to you? Not at all. You see,
mm,
it's easy to confess your spouse's sins, and you're probably correct about what your spouse needs to change. Okay, but it does no good to be right, and it's a complete waste of time and energy to focus on your spouse's problems. There's nothing that you can do about it.
we are not in the
So the
business of
question
owning other human beings, right?
Yes. So the question
Yeah.
should always be, what's my fixing? Don't look
Mm,
at what I can fix in this person. Look at
mm,
what is my fixing. Because
mm,
I mean, look, I've worked with a lot of relationships. I've never found any marital problem that is a one-sided thing problem. It's always a contributing factors from both
mm,
parties. You understand? For example,
mm,
if your partner when cheating, obviously, what was he looking for outside your marriage? What is it
mm,
that he didn't get in the house, inside the marriage that he had to go look for? You understand?
mm,
Now,
mm,
this is not all to blame you. No, no, no. some of the things that we do when it comes to marriages is that we do or say or operate through is things that we learned from where we come from, our upbringing, our what we saw our parents do things, what we saw our relatives do things, our
Mm,
friends, what friends taught us, and all that. So we come into this thing called marriage or relationships with that kind of mindset, what people have said, and that's what the picture that we have of what a marriage should look like. You
mm,
understand? And then you have your Hollywood movies where they tell you, say this is how it should be done. And we run for that. We think to say, wow, this is it. This I wish I had a relationship like that. We forget
yeah.
that that is a script. Someone
Mm,
wrote that. You understand? It's not real life. That life that they are portraying there is something, a story that someone just made up and put it up there. But it doesn't
mm,
necessarily mean that it's going to be, that's how things should be. You see, because you've got to understand that marriage is the formation of a new identity. Okay, so
mm,
by that, by that I mean that when the two of you come together, remember you are coming from
mm,
two different backgrounds. Okay,
mhm,
two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, two different set of values and belief systems and all that stuff. And for example, like let's say I mean, when I met my wife,
mm,
I mean, I came to discover that the meaning of respect was totally two different things between the two of us.
yeah.
I related respect based on the way I was raised, what I was taught. I was taught a woman should be like, a wife should be like, and how she should treat the husband. And if I didn't get that, I thought. I mean, when I didn't get that, I thought I was being disrespected. You
Mm,
understand? But
mm,
she also, what I forgot was that where she's coming from, she's also coming from a family where she was also taught certain values and belief system, and respect was part of the package. Like
mm,
I mean, like is the case in every family. There's always, I mean, respect is one of the things that they put their focus on. But our meaning of respect is totally different to my meaning of what respect was. Now the
yeah.
question is, who's right and who's wrong? Nobody. You
Mm,
understand? But as soon
nobody,
as you
yeah.
start looking at who's right and who's wrong, that's where now we start trying to change people to be like, why can't you be like my brother? Why can't you be like
My
my
father.
father? You understand? Yeah, yeah.
Why can't you love
And
me the
once
way my
that
father loved my mother?
exactly the way my mother loved my father, you know, vice versa, whichever. And that's the
Mm,
problem. That's where the problem starts there. And guess what? We start now. That's where now we start trying to fight for that and trying to change our partner,
mm,
forgetting about our sins. We start looking at our partner's sin. He is the problem. She is the problem. She needs to
mm,
change. But if you say she need to change, what you're doing is that you're not looking at. I mean, if you look in the mirror and you say she need to change, whom are you speaking to? You're speaking to
mm.
yourself, isn't
To
it?
yourself, yeah.
Your partner plays the same role. Your partner
Mm,
is a mirror of who you really are,
mm.
and that's why we don't like it because we don't like to face ourselves.
Yeah, no, definitely. I hear you. So, Joe,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's where my slogan comes from. Change yourself, not
okay,
your
no, I
partner.
love
Because
it.
when
I love it. Change yourself, not your partner, right? So tell me how, I mean, you deal a lot with married people and you do a lot of marriage counseling. How does a single person who moves from dating to now deciding that they're ready for marriage, how do you know that you're ready for marriage? How do you prepare yourself for marriage? How do you understand marriage, and how do you know that, you know what, now I'm ready, now I'm marriage
that's
material, now I'm ready, I can do this, I know what it means to get into marriage, and I think I'm prepared for it now. How do you know? Do you get a feeling? Do you get a message from God, or is it just a ring? And then, like, how do people know that they're ready for marriage? And I know this is such a basic question, but I just often find that, because in a sense as well, a man is the one that would propose to a woman. So a
look.
lot of us don't have the chance to either decide if you're ready. I don't know. How do we know? that we are ready, you know?
Look, we've been brought up I mean, like in the modern society where everything is fast. Okay, we've got your fast foods, you've got your fast whatever, and that stuff. So just run to the supermarket, grab some things that you can put in the microwave, quick fix, and all that
Mm,
stuff, and then that's it. It's done. You're gone, and that stuff. But I mean, and nowadays marriages have become that way, where I've heard people that say, we just want to try it. We just want to see if it's going to work for us. Okay.
just want to
Now,
try,
my
man.
question, yeah. So you're going into this relationship to see if it's going to work. Yes. So what is it that is in your mind then? If
Mm,
it works, you stay, and if it doesn't work, what do? You leave.
you
Is that what
leave,
you're
yeah.
trying to say? Yeah, is
Mm,
that what you're trying to say? They say, oh wow, no, but not exactly. Nowadays you never know because these things don't work. Now, when you have that mindset, it doesn't work. Trust me. No matter what you try to do when you are in it, it's not going to work because
mm,
you've already created in your subconscious mind to say this thing does not work. And it's,
mm,
I've seen a lot of people who are going into this thing and it's not working. So is
mm,
there a formula that that you have to that you have to go through, or to do for you, or to feel for you to know that you are ready for marriage? It's a choice by the end of the day. So
yeah.
you as an individual decide when you are ready for marriage or not.
Mm,
With men,
mm.
I would know when I'm with. I would know as soon as I meet someone. I would know that this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, and it won't take me 10 years. It won't take me 10 years to decide. It won't take me 2 years
How
to
long does it
decide.
actually take a man to decide if he's ready? How long?
If a man is ready and he meets and he knows that you are the one, it can take even 2 months, 3 months, and all that stuff, and that's it. He knows
Mm,
this is what I want, and this is the
mm,
person that I want to spend my life with. But the
mm.
problem becomes is that what I've noticed mostly from women is that they want to. It's like they want to push and want to force. He just doesn't know that how much I love him, and I know, I really love him. I know he's the one, but he just doesn't know that I love him. Come on, he knows he's an adult. He's a human
So,
being. He's an adult. He knows exactly what he's looking for, and when he finds it, trust me, that you go into it. Into it without even you asking him if he's ready
mm,
for that. You understand?
yeah.
I've had people that have come to me say, you won't know, you won't understand how broken-hearted I am. So what happened is, say, this guy just came to me and just decided. We had a small fight, and he left. He left the house, packed his things, and he left. And 3 months down the line, I saw that he's engaged on Facebook. I
With
said,
someone
I said,
else.
so what's the problem? I don't understand how he can move on so fast. I said,
Mm,
listen, all along, this guy was in your life. You supported him. You did everything for him. You were his hero.
mm,
Okay? Now, a man would never marry someone to whom he looks up as his hero. It's
mm,
not going to work. Okay, so now it's 3 months down the line, he meets someone and is engaged. You see, he feels, he's found someone to whom he can be a hero to. And that's the
mm,
reason why it's easy for him to make that decision. There's no pressure being told, spoken to like he is a child and a dependent and all that stuff. He's met someone that looks up to him and say, "Wow, this is a person that I can love, I can follow, and I can just desire to be with." And
mm,
that's
mm.
it. Okay, and that's it. You know, yeah.
This works different for us
Let
then
me not
because
get too excited.
no, I love that you're getting too excited. So for Joe, for us, I mean, I think this works different. We almost equate we almost equate a lot to how long we've been with the men, and it's clear from what you just said that men don't equate how long they've been with the woman as as evidence enough that they're ready. You know, a woman, I think if I've been with you 7 years, it already proves that I'm worthy of the ring, marry me, you know. And here you are saying this man can meet somebody in 2 months and decide to just take them over me. I've been with him for 7 years. How does that work? Is I mean, why do you guys not value the length of the relationship? Do you not value that somebody has sacrificed themselves for 7 years? I mean, you know, you've wasted 7 years of my life. Do you not feel bad? Do you not, you owe me marriage? 7 years.
No, 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 no. You see, that's where we're getting it wrong. You see, I mean, that's why it's very important. To self development becomes very important. Okay, in life, in everything that you plan to do and that stuff. So self development becomes very, very, very important. Okay, personal development, because if you do not develop as an individual, it becomes easy now for you to try to find yourself in someone else, and that's when the problem comes. So no matter how you can see the red flags in front of you, okay, it's there. I mean, this is not the person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, or you can spend the rest of your life with, but you try to force it and make it look like it's so good. And then we even go to the extent of where we start now, even protecting that person's bad behaviors from our friends and that stuff. And if someone picks it up and tells us about it, we disassociate from those people. We don't want to have anything to do with that person because
Mm,
we think that person is jealousy. That's why you find
mm,
that there are people that will date each other for 20 years, okay, but
mm.
still, I mean, get married. I mean, when they get married, after that, when they get married, it takes them 3 months and they are divorced. Why?
Joe, no ways. You can't tell me you haven't figured out a person in 20 years and then you want to divorce over 3 years. What causes the marriage? How is it
You
different?
can't.
20 years what is it about marriage that makes people want to leave? Kanti? What is so bad about it? If this person was
Okay.
tolerant of you for 20 years and then you get married
Yes.
3 months, they decide, no, I want to walk away. Like you've been patient for 20 years, might as well stick it out. Why?
You walked away. You walked away a long time ago emotionally, and
Mm,
and that manifestation is just something. I mean, a manifestation of you walking away finally. Now, after you get married, has nothing to do with marriage. It has to do with something that happened long time ago. It's
mm.
just manifesting itself now. You
It
understand?
just
So, but
triggered.
yes, yes, yes. And the other thing is that because when we people get married, remember before you get married, do you realize a wonderful relationship you have with your partner? You can literally talk about anything, no matter
Anything.
how
And then what
silly it
happens
was.
after the I do?
Yeah, yeah, and it's so amazing that you could even, I mean, you can even go sit at the beach. You can even go sit under a tree and spend hours there. And you just feel like you don't want to leave each other. And you can talk about literally anything and
Yeah.
without fear and that stuff. And you can listen to each other. I mean, it's the whole day. It's like you guys. A lot of people will say now. He's my soulmate, and that.
Honeymoon
But as
phase.
soon, but as soon as we get married, everything changes. That is thrown out. So the focus now becomes on what is doing right, who's doing right, and who's doing wrong. Okay?
Mm, mm,
It was okay for him to come into your house, spend the night, and he will leave the towel on the floor. You will just go there and pick it up with a smile on your face.
mm,
Now that you're married, it becomes a problem. You don't want to do that anymore, or that becomes irritating. That's like irritating you. The very
mm,
thing that was exciting you start irritating you. So your language changes. Here is what happens. We leave the house. There's a scripture that I know most of the people that are listening to us might not all of them are Christians, but here's the thing.
mm,
There's a scripture that says that therefore a man shall do what? Leave father and mother and shall cleave to his mother to his wife, and the two
mm,
shall be. become one flesh. You
mm.
hear those things being preached about at weddings. People, a lot of pastors say those things and that, but however, they do not really explain what it really means to live.
What
Okay,
does it
so
mean?
that's where the problem becomes. So people, I mean, people think that when they leave their parents, when he leaves the parents' house and hires himself a flat in Santon and takes his wife and move into that apartment, then they say, "I left. Now we are
Mm,
cleaving." No, 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 no. You see, it says, "Therefore, a man shall leave father and mother," meaning values and belief system in the way you were raised that need to be put
mm,
aside. Okay, because
mm,
if that is not put aside, you don't leave that and you take that with you into your marriage, you haven't left.
mm,
That will
mm,
create problems. So Machiavelli will start defending herself, say, okay, why is Joe trying to change me? Huh?
mm,
Why is it that the way I do things is wrong according to him? Does it mean
mm.
that the way I was raised was wrong? I do have
Yeah.
values too. I do have beliefs too. In the same way that you do, where you're coming from, I also do. Therefore,
Mm,
how do you leave that? That's why I mean, how do you leave those things? You need to sit down, you and your partner,
mm,
and find out. Say, okay, look, this is what worked for my mother and my father, and you come say, this is what works for my father and my mother in our home, and because of that, they are now you're successful. And what do you think? Then you compare those beliefs and values, and
mm.
see them, and say, opening them up and see what is the meaning according to you in terms of what is respect according to you. What is
Yeah.
submission? That's the other issue. What is submission according to you? You understand?
Mm,
What is communication according to you? Because a lot
yeah.
of communication skills, the lot of communication that we have is something that we inherited where we're coming from, either during
Mm,
our childhood or what we saw our parents speak, the way they
yeah.
spoke to each other. So you get
Mm,
into a marriage. So you what you do is that when you start shouting at your partner and your partner is not shouting back, you feel like that person is not communicating. And he says he just
mm,
doesn't say anything. He just sits there like a robot, and he's just watching me. And he's not saying anything. Someone said to me, I got an email, a email that this woman tells me that she actually wants to leave her husband because he doesn't communicate. He doesn't say anything when she's shouting. He doesn't shout back. I
yeah.
said, are you going to leave this wonderful man because he doesn't shout at you?
Mm.
Now, you see now the pattern here. She's used to that kind
She's
of
used to that
communication.
as
She was
communication.
raised under that. She believes that's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be done. Now, this is
Yeah.
the problem. This is the problem that we have, and we go in marriages or relationship with that kind of belief system and those values that we think are the right values. Remember,
Yeah.
everyone believes that the way they were raised was the right way.
Yeah. My mother
So
knows
you
best.
believe that the way you were raised was right, and your partner also believed the same thing, where the way they
Yeah.
were raised was right. And there will be
Mm,
questions like, you can't fix a tap, you know? Yeah, no, I can't.
mm.
What type of family do you come from?
What
Well,
type of a man are
my
you?
yeah, my father was a pastor. He preached very powerfully. I can preach
Mm,
very powerful. Your father might have been a plumber, and that's why he was good at fixing stuff. But I'm not. You understand?
mm,
So if I need to fix something, I'll have to get someone to come and fix that. Why? Just doesn't mean that I was raised in a wrong way. It just means that I was raised differently, and you've got to respect that. Then we need to come up with our own way of creating our own vision, our own understanding, our own values and beliefs that we're going to live up to, and also that I mean, when we have children, we raise our children under those values, so that when they grow up according to the way we want them to grow. But however, when
yeah.
they grow up as adults, they also have to create their own values and belief system. That's how life is all
Mm,
about. We
mm,
evolve as we learn and we evolve every time. But if we're not
yeah.
willing to do that, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, we inherit beliefs, we inherit systems, we inherit these templates that don't work for us now, and we need to always reevaluate and say, okay, my template of love is this. Does it work for us now, or does it not work for the person that I'm trying to be in this marriage, for the woman that I'm trying to be in this marriage, you know? And also, I mean, we inherit, if we inherit the way our parents loved and whatever, we also inherit their fears. And if your parents had fears about a man, if he had fears about love, if he had fears about communication, you also inherit that because it's what you know. So I really get it when you say you leave your parents in a sense, but you don't leave them physically. You don't just move out and say, I've left, you know, you leave everything that you believed in and you now start afresh and say, this is what I'm going to believe going forward. This is how I'm going to do things going forward. You know, I really appreciate that. I think that's the lesson of the day for me, so you can
No,
switch off.
sorry.
No, I'm joking. Don't go.
Yeah, yeah.
So Joe, I mean, lately for me, I feel like men are afraid to love, because of the risk that is being involved. You know, that's involved in relationships. You know, so what advice would you have? I feel like men are just afraid to take the risk and get married and decide. You know, we still want marriage. You know, and maybe we also want it for the wrong reason, you know. But I just feel like lately men will do, a lot of them are just not buying into this idea of marriage because they think, like you've mentioned, people change, women, you know, that's involved in.
Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So, I mean, what advice would you give a man who's sitting there thinking, I don't want to get married. I fear losing myself. It's the risk is just too much to just get married, you know?
I do understand that so perfectly, and that, but I'll respond. I'll respond to that question with a story. Okay.
Mm,
Some years back, I was just only married about, I think that was about 6 years, and
mm,
met up with this couple was this lady was my wife's friend and all that stuff. But then to cut the story short, they got married.
mm,
And that. So when they had gone out away for their honeymoon, and when they came back, they decided to have a bride at their house.
yeah.
So we were invited to their bride, and so as we were seated there, that day it was raining. It was storming in Joburg that day, and
Mm,
now our house was the way when you come into the drive-in, it used to keep a lot of water. It used to flood. You know, the area
mm,
was used to flood. Now, unfortunately, at the same place where that water would flood, that's where the electricity wires passed apparently. So as a result, then the electricity would cut. So it would be very
yeah.
difficult to switch it back on as long as there's water on the ground there. But anyway,
Mm,
so my daughter phones and say, hey, look, I'm stuck here and there's no electricity and all that stuff.
mm,
So I said, no, why don't you do it? Why don't you go to the garage and use your phone as a torch? Just go switch the things on. So the more she tried, the more that thing failed. And then I decided, I told my wife, so you know what, let's go. We can't leave this child alone at home. Let's just go back home. Let's go home. You can get our food, we can eat at home. So as my wife went inside, packing the box, as then she comes, she says, are you ready? I said, yes. And then this guy looked at me and he pulled my hand. He said, are you leaving? I said, unfortunately, yes, I have to. And he says, she's really got you wrapped up in her finger, right? So I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean? He said, well, she just comes say, we must leave, and then you leave. Just like that. I said,
mm,
no,
mm,
wait a minute. Just because just because I agreed to that does not mean that she controls me. No.
yeah.
You see, what we're doing right now is what works for us in our
Mm,
marriage. Okay.
yeah.
If your way of thinking, that is what works for you guys, good luck. That's for you. But
Yeah.
you cannot force what works for you I mean, for you and your wife
Mm,
in our marriage. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So whichever meaning you choose to put to that, you go for it. So
mm,
imagine if I was that kind of guy that would say, I want to please my friends, I would have said, yeah, you are right, eh? And that stuff. And I would just put up a show now to prove to my friends, I'm the man and that stuff.
yeah.
Now, what would that do to help my marriage? It
Nothing.
won't. It will.
Mm,
I mean, I might even go in a state of I mean, stressing our relationship, our marriage, and just going apart. Well, to cut the story short, that guy was only married for 5 years. That was his first marriage. In that 5 years that they were married, they were more apart than they were together because of
mm,
that. So I said, you see, this is where the point. He came to me for help in his marriage.
mm,
I was the one that helped him. And when he came, he went back again the third time, and I started to try to work it out, to work things out. But by the end of the day, because he was not willing to become, to cleave to his wife, he couldn't just handle that, and that's how he left. But I hear
mm,
that he's married again. So the point I'm trying to make is this: most of the things that we as men do is based on what we hear our fellow men say. So they will say things. They will
yeah.
say, they will say things about. I mean, how ugly it is. I mean, ever since they married, and this woman has just changed. And I mean, they how unhappy they are. And so based on that, you start thinking, say, why should I get married?
Married when
No,
everybody's
man, why?
complaining about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Why must I get married on that? But here's the thing, the other thing again. I do understand that the fear of losing yourself in a marriage. It's a common thing. People do that. They lose themselves in relationships. They become something that they are not, even though even though they know that they are actually becoming a person that they are not, but they still go ahead trying to make things work in the relationship. Here's the
Mm,
question. My question is this to people like that is that, okay, when you were attracted to this person, what
mm.
is it that you were attracted to? Their individuality, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what was it about? What was it about this person's individuality that took you? That's the way he is, the way he speaks to me, the way he used to talk to me, the way he used to grab me, the way he used to kiss me, and
Mm,
all those things. They will say a lot of personalized things. I say,
mm,
now imagine that this person loses their identity, loses the very essence that you are attracted to. What
mm,
is it that you're going to be attracted to then? If they lost that today. And a lot of people don't realize the importance of individuality in a relationship.
mm,
They
mm.
think they think here is the thing. That comes brings me to now to the last part of the living, cleaving, and the one flesh. There's the thing they
Yeah.
say that, yeah, but if the Bible, this is a common thing, but the Bible said that when the two come together, they become one. I said, no, that's not
Mm,
what the Bible says. The Bible says that when the two come together, they become one flesh. Not identity. That's not an identity issue. That's an intimacy issue.
it's true.
That's what it
Okay.
says. Therefore, a
It
man
doesn't
shall
mean we walk
leave.
the same, we think the same, we talk the same.
Yes, yes. That's
Mm,
not the way it works. You are individuals. That's not gonna change. You are individuals. The only thing that you need to work on is understanding that individuality, and while you are not neglecting the marriage. You understand?
mm,
Because you're
mm.
a health individual, one health individual and another a health individual coming together creates a health relationship or a health marriage. But if you
Mm,
have one unhealth person in a marriage, you have problems,
yeah.
endless problems, because that person will either be crying for attention, and if you don't give them that attention, then they start throwing the toys out of the court. Yeah, they will
Mm,
either be crying. I mean, there will be always something that they will be crying about, trying to get and trying to win, trying to keep, trying to control and all that stuff, because they themselves, they are not whole. They believe that if they can have you, then you are going to complete them. You
mm,
see?
mm.
Someone said. Someone will say something very profound. He said, if someone comes to you and say, oh, you are the sunshine of my life, if you leave me now, you take away the deepest part of me. Yeah. He said, if someone comes to you that way, it's a sign that you're in trouble. Run,
Yeah.
run,
It seems like our
because
ideas of love then are just
yes, because but
just
unfortunately,
wrong.
that's how Hollywood raised us. I mean, taught us, and that's how we think that how it's supposed to be. But it's
Mm,
just the misunderstanding of what the oneness is supposed to be that makes people lose their individuality. Yeah,
mm,
your individuality is very, very important. Personal development becomes very, very crucial to have a healthy kind of relationship or
relationship.
marriage.
Yeah.
And that will kick out a lot of fears that a lot of people have, that if should I go in a marriage, then I'm going to lose myself.
Mm,
That's going to be done away. That's why it's very important to go for premarital counseling before you go
mm,
into a marriage setup. You
yeah.
need to do those things so that you need to understand certain things, and if that counseling or coaching offers personal development, you should encourage your partner to work on themselves.
Mm,
Even if you just have to hire a life coach for that, to work with your partner, and you also hire a life coach independent from your wife's, to
mm,
also help you work on your personal development. Trust me, there's nothing to fear. You're gonna have a fantastic health kind of relationship. Today, I've got such. I mean, myself and Laverne have got such a wonderful relationship, and a lot of people don't even understand the way we do things. Why? Because we've found out what works for us, and
mm,
because of that, yeah, I mean, because of that, we are happy. I'm not saying
yeah.
that we don't fight. We fight a lot. We are totally two different individuals. Oh my goodness, we see things differently, and that. But we've come at a place where we realize that there are
You
certain
understand each
things.
other.
Yeah, there are certain things that we just have to agree to disagree, and it's okay. There is nothing wrong
Mm,
with that. You
mm,
understand? So this is your mental map of the world. This is how you view things. This is how this is how I'm seeing it, and this is how you're seeing it. I thank God
mm,
for your introspection, your perspective, for sharing your perspective and that stuff. Thank you for that and that stuff. That doesn't mean that your partner is right and you're wrong. No,
mm,
it just
mm,
means that you accept their view just as much you expect them to accept your view.
mm. Do you think men are feeling the pressure to get married? Are they still feeling the pressure, or it has changed now? Are we still? Is it wrong of us to pressurize these men that we're dating for 5 years, 7 years, and say, "Look, I've been here. When are we doing this? When are we getting married?" Who is it
But
wrong of us to put that kind of pressure as
by the
women
end
to
of the
men?
day, by the end of the day, you can't. If you can't date someone for 5 years, for 10 years, come on, let's be realistic. Okay.
So
Uh,
if he doesn't propose to me, what do I do? Do I go? I mean, I've already been here for 5 years. Do I just leave and say, look, it's not?
that becomes also a personal development issue. That's why a lot
Mm,
of people say, "Now I've put too many years into this relationship.
into
I've
this
put too much,
relationship?
and
Yeah.
and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna push that we get married because hi Linda, Linda keeps on saying that I'm watching. Hi coaches.
Oh, are you reading the comments? Are you able to read the comments? Are
Yes,
you able to read the comments?
yes, I am able to read the comments.
For some reason, I can't read my comments today. Hey,
And don't
I
worry
can't
about
read
that.
them.
It's a it's a technology thing. You won't understand. It's a man thing.
Oh wow!
Okay. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. But anyway, let's get back to the topic here. Okay.
Yes.
I said, do you think that men feel the pressure? The only man that feels pressured is the person that knows this is not the right person for me to spend the rest of my life with. That's the
Mm,
only man. Yep. If the man if a man knows, I mean, I'll give you a good example. I'm in my second marriage. Went through a
okay.
lot, and after my divorce, I went through a lot. I mean, I was angry. I was bitter towards the opposite sex. women. I didn't
Mm,
want to have anything to do with women because of what I went through with my ex. I even went to the I went to the extent where I'll go with you for coffee and stuff. But as soon as you bring in the I love you stuff, that's it. You're never gonna see me again.
you had barriers. Just
I'll just ghost you, and I mean you're never gonna hear and ever you're never gonna hear from me ever again. That's where I was at, and I met quite a lot of people. I mean, there was a guy that encouraged me. One pastor encouraged me to download MiG 3. I don't know if you know about those things.
it sounds like an old school
Before
thing.
there was Mixit, before there was Mixit, there was MiG 3.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But anyway, so I mean, we did all those things and that. But when I met my wife and when I saw her, I knew this was my wife. It's gonna be my wife. I knew. And guess
From
what?
how
I
did you know? From just looking at her, or is it
when
the
I
qualities that
met
she gave,
when
or
I
the way
saw
she
her,
made you feel?
when I met her and I saw her, I knew this is gonna be my wife. And I mean, 6 months. I mean, that was in April. In June, we were engaged to be married.
Hmm.
November the same year, we were married.
Wow. And she didn't
Yes.
have to put pressure on you. She didn't have to give
No,
you the reasons why you should
no,
marry
no,
her.
no, no.
She didn't have to manipulate you or sneak
No,
in a
you should even
proposal.
hear a story. You should hear a story about when she saw me. If she saw the same thing. No, even when I proposed to her and that stuff, she would tell you straightforward. And say, I liked him. She would tell you that I liked him, but I was not. I wasn't in love with him at that at that
Wow.
moment.
Mm.
Yes, she would tell you
Is love
our own
important?
story. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, we have a question here, Joe. Somebody says, how do you encourage a man to get help, like counseling? You know, men don't like talking about their feelings. So if you're married to someone and you realize that this person needs counseling, how do you encourage them to get
no,
help so that you save your marriage, you know?
And I'm laughing because that's a very common question. Now, people will come and say, but he is the one that has a problem. He's the one that needs to go look for help. No, you see, it starts with you. Okay,
Mm,
Martha, that question is coming from Martha. Martha,
yes.
it all starts with you. So if you start saying that there is a problem in your marriage, you are the. I mean, if I was in your shoes, I would. If I was to encourage you, no, I'm a coach. I'm not a counselor. So a lot
Mm,
of people ask me for advice and other stuff. I don't give advice. I'm a coach. I
mm,
guide you
mm,
towards what you want and that stuff. But anyway, if I was to give Martha advice, is that I think you should put your focus on you. Put your focus more of your focus on developing you in terms of uh, communication skills.
mm,
How can I communicate with my spouse in a way that you won't misunderstand me when I suggest something. So you need to
mm,
find something. You need to find a way that would work for you in terms of how you can communicate to your partner. How you
mm,
approach your partner also would give you the results that you're looking for or not. Okay,
mm.
so for example, no one likes it if you go tell the person, you know, you look for help. They don't like it. No one likes to be told
Mm.
that. Yes, each one of us know that we are not perfect. We have
Yeah.
our own flaws. But if a person say pointing out your flaws continuously, it pushes that person even to do more of that all the time. Because well,
Mm,
that's how you see me. This is who I am. So
mm.
stuff you. And that's it.
Yeah.
You understand? So there's a presupposition that we work on in NLP. It says the meaning of your communication is the response that you get. So when you say something and you get a certain response, that's how they heard you. That's how they
Mm,
understood what you said. So
mm.
how do you get a different result? You need to change your way of
Ask
approach.
the
Say, I
question
mean, what?
differently.
Yes, ask the same question but in a different way.
Mm.
That way, you're going to get the results. However,
Yeah.
you cannot force your partner to go look for help. It's not going to work. It has never worked. I mean, if someone comes to me and said, coach, I need help.
Yeah.
Because I need help. The first question I'll ask that person, okay, what is the problem? And they'll tell me what the problem is. That okay, why is that important to you? And as soon as they tell me my wife has a problem, and therefore that's the when she asked me to come and see you, I don't work with people like that because it's a waste of
Mm,
time for me. I'm not going to get the results that I'm looking for in a coachee. Okay,
mm,
because that person is merely there to prove to make his wife feel good that they are
mm,
attending these sessions. Now,
mm,
I'm not there to make money. My job is to change, to work with people and see change in people's lives. You
mm,
can't force someone to go
mm.
for counseling. It's a
Yeah.
choice that the person should make by themselves and decide, say, you know what, I need help. Let me go look for
Mm,
help. You
yeah.
understand? Not I need help. Okay, I'm gonna look for help because just to make you happy. No.
Mm, mm,
The person should be willing to do it themselves. If they are willing to do it themselves, trust me, it becomes easier for them
mm.
to actually go and do it for.
To get to a point
Yeah.
where they realize they have a problem to begin with, that needs to be corrected. But Joe, maybe you
No,
can give us insights as well into what are some of your clients coming to you and asking you, like what are some of the top maybe three things that people come to you for, especially about marriage? What are some of the most common things that people come and say are issues in their marriage?
okay. Remember, most of our problems, our marriage problems, is based on we are very good at copying other people or comparing our relationship from other one person to the other. That's where most of our marriage problems stems from. Comparing
Mm,
from our relationship from the other. It's either comparing your relationship to your parents, to your friends, to your best friends, to your
mm,
neighbor, and all that stuff. Now, that's where most of the problems comes in. That's why you find that people would say that most of the common problems are finances. They
mm,
would talk about also infidelity is one of them. Yeah, yeah, mostly your finances and infidelity. A lot of people that I've worked with, that's where the biggest problem is. And I know
mm,
that the amazing part, this kind of problems has got no religious whatever or class and that. It's
mm.
a
It's
common.
across
These are the
all.
common. It's across all over, be it whether you're a Christian or not, or whether you're a
Yeah.
Muslim or not, whichever, or you're a
Mm,
Jewish, it doesn't matter. But that's it. But financial problem, communication, and sex. Those are the issues. A lot of issues. Now, when it comes to the sex part, is mostly to do with bitterness that builds up in the process of your relationship with all the fightings and shouting at each other, harboring all these bitterness inside of you, anger, and that kills your sexual drive, and it becomes
mm,
very difficult for you to meet up. So those are most of the issues. But however, having said that, each marriage is unique and their problem is totally different from the other person. So even
mm,
though they will use those three things that I've mentioned or four things that I've mentioned, it's like trying to kill a tree and but then you take off the leaves and leave the
mm,
tree standing. You understand? So
mm.
that's what they're doing. So they are just showing you what's outside, but they're not showing you what's under the roots
The root cause of the
underground.
issues, yeah,
Yes, yes.
definitely.
So that's why I'm saying that sex, money, and sex, money, and what these things called infidelity and all those stuff. Those things are just fruit. I mean, the fruit or the leaves of that the people are showing you and that stuff, but not the
Mm,
deep root of what's really going on underground. Because why?
mm,
Because it's a common thing that everyone that is married go through that. I think it's a myth that people have created that all married people must go through that, and that by the end of the day, it's not about that.
mm.
It's about what you create within.
Yeah,
Between the two of you, you and your spouse.
yeah,
Not the way other people are doing it, and all that stuff. Money should never be an issue. You see, you can fight about money today, okay,
yeah.
and once you finish fighting, you still are broke.
So it doesn't help, right?
No, it doesn't help. So it's not gonna. It's,
Yeah.
whether you when you fight about it for the lack of money, it's when you fight about it, and it doesn't help at all. You're still gonna have money problems once you're
Mm,
done. You're still gonna kiss and make up and all stuff, but you're still gonna have financial problems.
yeah. I mean,
And I sit down most of the time, and my wife and I were talking the other day. You're saying, we find it very difficult to understand why people actually fight about money. It just bugs our mind because you sit down and looking at it and say, why would the people use money as an excuse to fight? Why
mm,
would you leave your partner because of money problems? So you're
mm,
gonna leave your partner because they have money problem. You go find someone who's got money. What if they lose their money? And 2020 should be a very good lesson for every individual that's in a marriage today to
mm.
realize that it doesn't matter how much you plan or you run to or how secure your jobs are. Something like this can just happen like that, and you go back
Just
to
like
square
that,
one.
life changes,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Are you
Marriage
gonna run
changes.
away? Are you gonna run away just because now your partner
Mm,
doesn't have a job or is not bringing
mm,
in the money that was giving you that class, so that you go find
mm,
someone else? What if you find
mm.
that someone else and then that person we have another recession? What happens? You're gonna leave
Yeah.
that person and go find someone else. It just doesn't
Mm,
make sense to me at all.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
No, no,
I
no.
was
It's
just
okay.
adding
We still have
something to that.
time. So, Joe, tell me. I mean, we've already obviously discussed now what makes marriage work, and you're saying don't leave because of money, don't leave because of infidelity and stuff. But when is it okay to walk away from a marriage? When is it like acceptable to walk away?
That's to me. There's one thing that's not negotiable when it comes to walking away. Okay, and that is physical abuse. Let me say
Okay.
abuse in any way.
Mm,
That to me, if you come to me and you tell me, you paint a picture of this person that is abusing you mentally, abusing you physically and that stuff, I'll give you a green light to go ahead and divorce. I've seen people dying. I've seen people, whose coffins are being rolled into, 6 feet under, who stayed and they used the excuse because of the kids when they were being beaten
mm,
up every single
mm,
evening, every weekend. They are got being beaten up just because the guy just want to go out and go sleep the whole weekend without someone phoning him on and checking up on him because they are angry. You understand?
mm, mm.
So when it comes
There's
to
no
that,
coming back
that is
from
a
from
no
from
go.
abuse.
No, that to me, I would encourage anyone in that situation not even entertain it at all. You've got to
Mm,
get up and have some self respect for
mm,
yourself
mm.
and say enough is enough. I'm human just like you, and I deserve some respect and I deserve some love. But you're not gonna
Yeah,
treat me the way you are doing it right now. And if
yeah.
this continues, if you do it just one more time, that's it. I'm done.
I'm out of here.
You don't wanna end up in a coffin. I've seen way too many people that have died. I'm not this the problem is not a gender based. I've seen
Mm,
men that were set alight in Zambia. I mean, when I started the radio, I mean, when they invited me to be part to introduce me to a radio station in Zambia, one of the Christian radio station in Zambia, to come in to talk about marriages. And one of the things that I say to them, we are going to do marriage my way. And
mm,
they said no, but we must keep it. We are a Christian station and that stuff. I said, well, I'm not interested. But
mm.
if you tell me that we're going to deal with issues, real issues with real people, and then we're going to have to keep it real. Let's talk about issues that matters.
That
We are not going to
affects
use
people.
scriptures. We are not going to use scriptures to try to bring someone down, but we are going to put our focus on growth and that.
Mm,
So
yeah.
so they said so. I mean, and that's they gave me 1 month just to give it a try. Today, my program on that radio station has got the biggest following.
Mm,
Audience. I mean, listening audience too.
mm.
No, why did that happen? Because in Zambia, women were actually burning their husbands with petrol in bed while they're sleeping, burning, literally
What?
burning. It became yes, it was a big thing.
And
It
we
was,
don't
I
talk
mean,
about
it went
this. We
on
don't talk.
for yes, it went on for about a year. It went on for like a
Wow.
year. You swear it was just something that was planned to say, let's do it this way and that.
Wow. And
So
this is
it's
what we
not
don't
really,
talk about.
yeah,
Men
it's
doing
not really,
abuse in marriage.
yeah. So it's not only women that go through the abuse and other stuff. Men too go
Mm,
through that. It's only that with us as men, you don't. When you go talk to you can't talk to your friends about things like that. They will laugh at you. They
mm,
will laugh at you. How can you let a woman do this to you? You
mm.
must just give her a clap and then she's gonna be okay. That's what men do. They advise you. They give you all that kind of advices. And
Yeah.
but by the end of the day, so with that, someone was saying, what about infidelity and all that stuff? I said, you know what? Um, if someone comes, if you cut someone, they come and genuinely have apologized for what they did, okay, and
Mm,
they've genuinely apologized and asked for forgiveness and that stuff. And I mean, I wouldn't advise you to leave a person like that. I wouldn't.
mm.
But
You
if
won't
unless
advise
if
me
that
to leave
person,
if he's cheating.
yes. And unless if that person assured you to say, I'm going to show you and that stuff, and coming to a place where they disrespect you, I mean, coming to going to the extent of bringing those women right in front of you and all that stuff, then that's an abuse, and that let go. But if someone comes
But
and
is
say,
cheating
whether
not a sign of disrespect on its own?
Look, I mean, cheating is totally different from different individuals. Okay, there are some people that cheat because they want to get back on someone. There are those cheating that just you. I mean, you just find yourself in a position where, boom, it just happened, and you didn't. I mean, it's not something that you had planned about, and all that stuff is just something that just happened. Maybe you were at a work party and all that stuff, and it just happened. And it's not like it's a relationship and that. And that person comes and say, look, this is what happened, and I'm really, really sorry. Someone I mean, speaking from their heart, and they have apologized. Trust me, they are worth it to give it a second chance.
Mm, I hear you.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
so I mean, we have 3 minutes left, but I just wanted to, for somebody who doesn't believe in marriage, what are some of the top three wonderful things about marriage? Now, this is your chance to sell marriage to us because no, nobody's selling this thing to us, Joe. So you are the one that's gonna rescue marriage. Literally, you're the one that's gonna rescue marriage. Make
You
convince me.
see,
Give me
yeah,
three
you
things
see,
that are wonderful about being married.
I can't give you three things that are wonderful about being
Give me
married,
10 then.
because what those three things that I'm gonna give you things that have worked for me, and that's not fair. Okay,
No,
but by the
okay,
end of
talk
the
about
day,
the ones that have worked for you. That's your experience. We're talking about
but
your experience.
if every marriage is unique, okay, every marriage is unique. When you're in a relationship with someone, let's say you're in a relationship with someone, what's your intention of being in a relationship with that person? I'm one person that goes. I'll go in a restaurant, and when I see a couple sitting there, I go there and I introduce myself, and I'm a chatty person. I'm a magnet. People just fall in love with me because of my personality. Once I walk in a place, and that's it. People just get attracted to me, and they want to know what I do and that. So this couple told me, well, what this couple. I mean, I asked this couple. I told this couple what I do. They said, well, we don't believe in marriage. But they said, "Oh wow,
Mm,
that's fantastic. That's something interesting to hear." And then they
mm,
had a child with them. They had a child with them. So I asked them, "Is this your child?" They said, "Yes." So you guys live together?
mm,
Yes. I said, "Oh, and isn't that amazing that you guys are raising this daughter of yours? Okay, she's gonna grow up one day, become a beautiful man. She's gonna attract a guy." And I said, Is the fear of you saying that you don't want to get married based on what you've seen other people go through?" They said
mm.
yes, because it doesn't work. I said, "Did you guys try it?" No. So how do you know that it doesn't work if you haven't tried?
Yeah.
So you are living together. So it's okay for you to live together without committing to each other. Okay? And just because you're having and have kids together, but you are not willing to commit to each other and say, look, I just want to make you my partner, legal partner, and that stuff. I say for I mean for the sake of our child, so that we because now what you're saying is that We just into this, and if it works, it's okay for us to walk away, and there is
Mm.
no responsibility. Now, how many children are we going to have with that parent or child, I mean, fatherless,
Mm.
just because of people like you? So this child one day is gonna grow up without you as a father in the house, being raised by the mother alone, just because you chose not to get married, to commit yourself to your wife, and you walked away because you
Yeah,
found someone else. Okay,
but people get married and divorce all the time. Like, there's a high rate of divorce. How are we convinced that this is the route to go when stats is saying different and when facts are saying different?
people go to the gym all the time, but they still gain weight.
Ah! They go because they
People,
want to.
people,
So you get
yeah,
married
yes,
because
yes.
you believe in
Just
it
let's be
and you want it.
realistic.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. People go to the gym all the time, but they still get fat. Okay,
Mm,
people go to motivation speak. They sit under motivation speakers. They get out of there and they are fired up, but they still get discouraged. People
yeah.
wake out and they wake out. They sweat. They jump into the shower, and does that they still go back again to the shower. Just because
Mm,
just because just because you had the one shower, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna never gonna go there. And the shower is so nice when you're under it. Oh God, you just don't want to get out with that warm water, that stuff. You don't want to get out of there, but you have to get out there. But
yeah.
when you sweat, what do? You go back again to the shower. You cannot
So
say
far.
that just because I keep on sweating even if I shower. I keep on sweating. So what's the use of showering? No, come on. Let's be real. Let's be real here. Let's not justify. I mean, marriage is a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. One of the things that marriages helps you, it helps you to grow as an
Yeah,
individual.
to
It
challenge
shows
yourself.
you.
Yeah.
It shows you who you really, what you are made for, made of.
Mm,
You understand?
mm,
So those challenges plays as a mirror. It's the same thing as being in a relationship. People go in a relationship and in and out of relationship like it's a fashion, a new fashion,
mm.
and that stuff. But that doesn't stop people going into relationship, having boyfriends and girlfriends.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop
I hear,
that. So
Joe,
let's
our
not
time.
use that as an excuse.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So go in it if you believe it's worth it for you, then do it. Find something that's beautiful and lovable about marriage and hang on to that, right?
You create
Yeah.
what you want. When you go in a relationship, you and your partner sit down and you create. Because I mean,
Mm,
most men that fear of getting married is because most women today are educated. They are not like our aunties, our parents that used to stay at home, and when daddy comes from work, he just finds food waiting for him there and all that stuff. Things have changed now. People are educated. Women work now, and that,
mm,
and
mm.
people. I mean, a lot of men fear that because they don't have a vision. So they go in a
And then
relationship. They meet this woman. So where are you taking me? They've got no answer. So what do
mm,
they do? They start getting scared to get married, and they
mm,
say, "No, I don't want to change. I don't want to change myself." That's an excuse. You know,
mm.
you go in the when you meet someone else's child, you want to commit to that person. You need to know where you're taking that person.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hmm.
Thank you so much, Joe, for joining me today and giving your inputs and views. I think you make marriage beautiful again. You give us hope for
Thank
those
you.
of
Thank
us
you
who
so
are
much for
just
having me.
slowly giving up on the idea. Do you have any last words maybe that you want to share with us? How do people find you? I know you're based in UK now, but I'm sure people can still consult with you. People who are based here in South Africa, where do they find you? How do they find you? What page or group can they follow to get more of your teachings?
Look, they can find me. Obviously, they can find me on Facebook. I'm very active there. I've got a page and a group with the same name, My Relationship Coach. And by the way, I've got an app going up. That went up yesterday. So you can download my app. It's
Yay,
called
well
Coach
done.
Joe. Yes, you can go download my
Okay.
app. It says Coach Joe. We can have our coaching sessions on there. Also, we can have our private chats, coaching chats on there where no one sees what's going on. It's just the two of us having that coaching session through
That's
the app.
wonderful.
Also, I mean, yeah, and then I'm also on Instagram as Coach
Okay,
Joe
Joe, this is
Speaks.
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to your inbox now. Please send me all those links that you have to your app, to your website, to your groups. Just send them and then I'll put them on my timeline for everyone to see. Right?
Fantastic,
Thank you
fantastic. Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for joining me. I haven't seen you in 3 years. I thought by now, the Australian accent would have taken over. But I see you're still the same,
Nah,
Joe.
nah, nah, nah. Nah, I'm always proud of African and that stuff. So I
Yeah.
still yes, yes. So that's one thing that's not gonna disappear that easy. And beside that, yes, it's very difficult for people yet when it comes to communication because there are so many different way of pronunciation and that stuff that need to be adjusted for people to understand you. You understand? So yeah, it will
Mm,
get there. It will get there. It's
it'll
just a
get
matter of
there.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, happy moving. Send our regards to the madam. And yeah, happy moving. Hey, enjoy the new place. God bless.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic,
Thank
fantastic
you.
day.
Bye.
Okay then. Bye.